Hey, what is up guys? It's Dan from Flavor Fit Foods, and today I'm going to show you how to make this super easy one-pot Mexican chicken tinga. It has 260 calories and 36 grams of protein per serving. I like to use it in burritos, rice bowls, tacos, tostadas, anything like that. This will add a lot of flavor and fun to your muscle building or fat loss diet. So let's get into the video. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take 2 pounds of chicken breast. We're gonna season it all over with some kosher salt, and then we're gonna crack some fresh black pepper. Make sure we get this chicken all seasoned up. Then I have this enameled cast iron pan. You could use like a stainless steel pot. I'm gonna take 2 cups of chicken broth, or you could use chicken stock, and we're gonna slowly bring it to a simmer. We're gonna take our seasoned chicken breast, and we're just gonna kind of submerge it the best we can in this broth. So once you got all your chicken in there, just slap the lid on it. We're gonna cover and we're gonna turn the heat to low and simmer it for 20 minutes. Just poach this chicken nice and slow so it remains really juicy. Then we're gonna take a bowl. You can take a mixing bowl. I have this ceramic bowl. Just gonna pull the chicken out and we're gonna let it cool, for probably like 15-20 minutes while we prep our vegetables until it's cool enough to pull. Also, you're gonna wanna save this broth. You can just see I'm just pouring it out into this measuring cup because we're gonna add a little bit of the broth back in when we make our sauce. Next we have 2 onions. I think these are yellow. You could use white onions, Spanish onions, doesn't matter. We're just gonna nip the ends off. We're gonna cut them in half, get them peeled, line them up, and we're just going to slice them thin. After you get your onions sliced up and set aside, grab a head of garlic. We're gonna rip 6 cloves of garlic off of this. This fresh garlic is, it's a little bit of a pain to peel, but once you get the hang of it, you smash it, you peel it. It's pretty simple, and garlic is just an absolute flavor bomb, especially when you're cooking on a fat loss diet. You can't count out things like chilies, onions, garlic, spices, stuff like that. So we're gonna peel it. Now we're gonna get it sliced up, and we're gonna pop it in our bowl and set it aside. Now we're bringing in the heat. We have 60 grams of Chipotle peppers that we are going to chop up. So I'm going to pop these Chipotle peppers open. I got my scale out. I'm going to weigh out 60 grams. I like to use a little bit of the sauce that's in there, which is the adobo, and then a couple of the whole peppers. So we're going to take these peppers out with a spoon, leave the sauce in the bowl, and then we're just going to rough chop these peppers with a knife. You could do like all the peppers if you want, but that's where the seeds are. It's going to be a lot spicier, so I want mine just a little bit more mild, so I added some of the sauce into the weight. So we're just gonna chop these up. We're gonna put these in our bowl, and then we are gonna be pretty much prepped up, and now we're just gonna finish off cooking this chicken tinga. So we have our chicken that we set aside while we were doing our knife work. Now we're just gonna bust it up a little bit with these tongs, and then we're just gonna shred it with our hands. So it's probably still a little warm. As you can see, there's some chicken juices in the bottom of the pan. That is good stuff. That's what you wanna see, nice moist chicken breast. So you're just gonna rip it up with your hands, and pretty soon you're gonna end up with a nice shredded bowl of chicken that looks like this. Now we're gonna put the same pan back on, add 2 tablespoons of olive oil over medium heat. When your olive oil is nice and hot, we're gonna add our onions in, and we're gonna sweat them for 5 to 7 minutes. Make sure to hit them with a pinch of salt so you can really build some flavor as you go. Just bust them up, and then we're just gonna stir them around, sweat them for 5 to 7 minutes. We're not really trying to get a bunch of color on them. We're just trying to get them nice and translucent. Once they're there, we're gonna add our garlic, and we are going to add our chipotle peppers into the onion mix, and we're gonna cook this for about 2 minutes. You probably wanna stir it semi-constantly, don't want it to burn, just wanna pull the flavors out of the garlic and the chilies. All right, now remember that chicken broth that I told you to save? We're gonna take 1 cup of it, and we're gonna deglaze this garlic, onion, and chili mixture. Take your tongs, your wood spatula, or whatever you got, and scrape up any of the good bits off of the bottom. Then we're gonna take 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. I got this one from Whole Foods, but you could use like any generic brand. And we're just gonna pop it open. We're gonna dump this whole can of tomato sauce in this mix, and then we are gonna just give it a nice stir, make sure everything is uniform and incorporated. And now we are on to our last step in this easy chicken tinga. We have our moist, delicious chicken breast. We're gonna dump it all in here. You're gonna take your tongs or your spatula, whatever you have, toss it up for like a minute or 2, make sure everything is nice and incorporated. And then we are gonna just keep this on a low simmer for about 20 minutes. You wanna come stir it maybe like once every 5 minutes and just kind of stir it up like I am here. And after 20 minutes, you're gonna be left with this moist, sweet, smoky savory, delicious chicken tinga, as you can see here. And guys, this is just a base recipe. I'm going to provide follow-up recipes off this master recipe of things like burritos, tacos, rice bowls, tostadas, some of my favorite things that you can do with this chicken tinga. But make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And now we're going to get into the full macro breakdown and the advantages that I feel this recipe has. All right, so this chicken tinga recipe yields 8 servings. How you weigh those 8 servings, right? So you get a scale, you get a container, you weigh it in grams, you divide it by 8, that is your total servings. A lot of the time what I do is I actually freeze about 4 of the servings and save them for later, because this recipe yields a lot and it freezes really well, and it's good to like freeze it in a Ziploc bag. You can pull one out if you're in a pinch, right? You need something in a fat loss diet that you know your calories and your macros. This is really good for that. Speaking of calories and macros, each serving has 260.75 calories, 36.2 grams of protein, 9.75 grams of carbs, and 7.6 grams of fat. So seeing as this only has 260 grams of calories, and you're getting a relatively high calorie to protein ratio, and it's also really low in fat. So the first thing that screams out is this works really well in a fat loss diet. You can pair it with whatever carbohydrate source that you like. I've eaten this with sweet potatoes. I've eaten this in white rice bowls, brown rice bowls, all sorts of things, right? And you can eat it with fresh vegetables, salsa, which is low calories. Like, there's a lot of wiggle room in the low calorie department, and it has a lot of flavor, which if you follow me, you follow my channel, you know that eating at a fat loss diet, right? Eating in a deficit requires you to not sacrifice flavor, right? Because if you're sacrificing flavor, you will be miserable. And that is the key to a sustained fat loss diet, is feeling like you're eating filling, flavorful foods. So that is first and foremost, I think the biggest strength of this recipe is in a fat loss diet. And if you're not in a caloric deficit or you're not trying to lose fat, well then guess what? This is also a very adaptable recipe to gain muscle or to eat in excess of calories, because it is low in fat, right? So let's say you're rolling it in a burrito, or you're putting it on top of rice, or you're putting it on top of a tostada or something like that. Okay, well guess what? Take some healthy fat, like some avocado, slice it up, or you can just double the portion, eat 2 portions if you're trying to, eat a lot of food, and you're still left with a very, very healthy, very protein efficient, very calorie efficient way to kind of bulk up or bulk lean muscle. So I was in like an 8-week cut. I was in Vegas. I got a little bit girthy. I was partying, doing some dumb shit. So I was cutting for 8 weeks, got my weight back to where I want it, and I just made this recipe, and now I'm kind of lean bulking again, and I just ate a brown rice bowl with some fresh salsa I got from the farmer's market, and I took some avocado, some cilantro, some diced onion, and I ate a bowl of this, and it was absolutely fire. So this is a great recipe for fat loss. It's a great recipe for lean bulking, whatever your needs are. All right, thanks guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will be back for more. And like I said, this is just a master recipe. I will base sub recipes off of this master recipe. I am Dan from Flavor Fit Foods. Peace out.